Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's Wednesday, which means it's Hot Takes Day. Larson, here's my hot take. Are we doing the watch along on Saturday or what?
Shoot.
No. Hey, stay tuned. Look,
building anticipation. This is what it is.
It wouldn't be the Going in Raw way if we had the info as promised.
You know, after we did the Raw review, I had to get the audio up. I was trying to put together the guest of Meltzer. I had to make some phone calls for a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot going on. It's all good. It's all good. We'll let you guys know tomorrow on our AEW news and AEW review. We're not doing NXT.
Said NXT. We're not doing NXT anymore.
I don't have to watch it tonight.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to let you know if we're doing a watch along for Triple Mania by tomorrow.
At the very least, we'll give you that. Maybe. No promises.
Hopefully, ideally. We'll see.
Anyways, it is Wednesday, which means it's time for you guys to give us your hot takes in the world of pro wrestling, and then we react to them. Larson, what's up first?
First one is from Sale Mage. 183 says Cody Rhodes should have turned heel instead of John Cena. If The Rock had his way, that's what would have happened.
Should we do a thing where one of us makes the case for and one of us makes the case against?
You're number one Cody fan, so you say Cody should not turn heel. Babyface Cody.
So I'll take the business side out of it because we like to focus on the creative here. Although from a business standpoint, it probably would have been a bad idea. I'm not a big fan of, how should I put this? I don't know. I'm just completely ruining the whole idea of us debating because now I'm sort of going back and forth in my head. Like, I'm not a big fan of all of a sudden somebody turns bad. John Cena doing it, given that he was on such a gnarly losing streak in WWE over years, and the initial setup of, and even the way he sort of explained it in the end on that SmackDown promo, which I thought that idea was actually pretty good. I was convinced by people, The Rock, to turn heel for shocking television. And this idea that John Cena was kind of like manipulated into a situation that he wasn't comfortable with, but he decided to run with it. And we got a couple little moments of, a telling regret on his face after the heel run. I mean, not very many. There was like two, maybe one. I think that it just made more sense from a creative standpoint for John Cena. And the first thing you said when The Rock was like, Cody, I can offer you everything. It was like, well, Cody's already got everything. Like, I guess maybe, like a movie role in The Naked Gun, maybe Rock could have given him a beefier role. He could have taken the Paul Walter Hauser role.
I mean, maybe. Cody got a part in the new Street Fighter movie too, without The Rock's help.
Yeah, the dude is doing pretty well. So I don't know. I feel like there's also the risk with Cody where if he went heel, Cody already kind of does heel stuff and he gets cheered for it. I feel like if he went heel, people probably would have cheered it because being a heel is kind of just doing cool shit. So I don't, from the perspective of like, okay, what's Cody's overall journey? What's his big picture arc? It just doesn't fit for him to turn heel here. And I don't think, I will say this, it is entirely possible that the story would have been more fleshed out because it was The Rock's idea or it was Gewurtz's idea or whoever's idea. It was his camp's idea to turn Cody heel. So maybe we would have had something more interesting at WrestleMania. Maybe The Rock's involvement would have been a bit beefier. I enjoyed the work of the Final Boss. Maybe that duo, Cody and The Rock, maybe that could have been a ton of fun. And then we'd get a Cody redemption arc where he goes back to the status quo. I'm not against it, but the thing is, I think the general premise Cena's been the ultimate good guy, and people have wanted a heel turn for years and years and years, and they gave it to us. And that image of him next to The Rock and Travis Scott, I think is good. Was worth all of it. I thought that was a great image. They dropped the ball long term, but I thought we got the heel run. Well, was it great? Wasn't horrible. Wasn't great.
All right, this is how you can maybe turn Cody heel. So his story once he became champion was, he assembled the Cody Vengers, and to varying degrees and for various reasons, people that he either thought were his friends or people he thought he respected, and that respect was reciprocated. All that kind of went by the wayside because of the title. And if they really emphasize that more and followed through on that a bit more, and Cody's literally on an island, or he feels like he's on an island, I have nobody now. I've alienated everybody. This title has become between me and all of my strongest relationships here in the company. Here comes Dwayne. Cody, I want your soul. And at first Cody's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. Here's the thing, and it couldn't play out at Elimination Chamber. It would have to happen at WrestleMania because Cody sees John Cena as his mentor. And something would have to happen during the course of that match where whatever relationship they had, the bond, the friendship they had, John Cena's like, you're my friend. I took you under my wing. I showed you how to be a WWE superstar. Nonetheless, Cody feels like during that match, John Cena, again, is another person, someone close to him, who values the championship more than their friendship. And that's when Cody answers The Rock and says, yes, you're offering me anything? What I want more than anything else, Dwayne, is your friendship.
Oh,
your loyalty.
Yeah.
Our relationship above all else. This title will not get in the way of it. If you can give me that, I will be your champion.
I like the idea of like Cena, because also Cena was kind of like, he gets to the Rumble, doesn't get it done there. Gets the Chamber, he got it done there. But the idea that Cena loses, and Cody turning heel is kind of the thing that turns John Cena back on. Yeah. And so he chases Cody then until SummerSlam, gets it at SummerSlam. So Cody loses at SummerSlam. And then Cena loses it, I don't know, maybe to Gunther in December or something like that. He gets his last run as a good guy instead of a bad guy. I think that's a terrific story you laid out. They could have told a good story with John. Oh, yeah. I think they could have told a good story with Cody as well. But the bottom line is Cody's got a lot of time left for us to get that story. Cena didn't have any time left. So it's either now or you never get to explore that with Cena. And, like I've said before, I think as a full book, his heel run was a failure. But as individual chapters, I thought there was some good stuff there. Some of his promos were highly entertaining. A lot of people liked Punk Life. Not me, but a lot of people did. And I think that there was also more potentials for matchups with him going through his bad guy phase. And then now he's a good guy, so he'll have a couple more matches as well. But I think that a case could be made for Cody. But the idea that John Cena, this is his last year, it's now or never. I think that's kind of like the biggest reason why it should not have been Cody and it should have been Cena.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other than all the obvious business reasons too, which would even
and then of course there's business
get into because they're pretty self-evident.
Yeah.
Bucket Dipper here says this whole cross work shoot contract stuff will blow up in WWE's face.
Yeah, so they got themselves in a bit of a pickle right now because of the way they handled R-Truth, for example. And I'm trying to think, are there any things, let's say, for example, let's do this. The reality is Cross is no longer seen as valuable by WWE. They've decided to release him from decided to let his contract expire, and they're not interested in him at all. Would it behoove them, and is there a way for them to get that info across? Or is it simply boy who cried wolf territory where if they try to get that info across, it'll make it seem more like this is a work?
What I can think of offhand here is what they did with Mox, which was at the time unprecedented. Once the news got out that he was leaving the company once his contract expires, they issued a statement saying Jonathan Good, Dean Ambrose, has chosen not to re-sign with the company. We wish him well in his future endeavors, something like that.
Those are words. They can do words anywhere. They'll do words. They can go back on that.
I mean, what do you want? What do you want? Is his merch still up on WWE Shop? What do you want?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Like,
I don't
what
think
they do? It's all reliant on Cross to go to AEW.
Yeah, I mean, it's he has to show up somewhere else. It's not WWE or WWE affiliated, essentially. If
that's explicitly anti-WWE, though.
Because I was going to say, even if he shows up in TNA, well, I mean, TNA's got a partnership with WWE. That's entirely possible. He shows back up in NXT or something, back on the main roster in some capacity. So even that is not enough there to make the fans think, okay, no, he's gone.
Yeah.
So, like anything WWE does, such a large portion of the wrestling audience is so skeptical of anything because they don't want to be worked,
Yeah.
They don't want to be worked.
I want to be worked.
So they assume things like just about everything is a work.
Yeah.
Not everything, pretty close.
They see it everywhere.
Yeah, they see works everywhere because they don't want to be worked.
Yeah.
They want to be out ahead of the work.
I don't want to be worked.
I'll be honest, I don't really care if I'm worked, honestly.
Well, I mean, it depends on the situation, though. Like, what if somebody shows up to your house and he's claiming to be a bug guy, and he's like, "I'll get rid of all the bugs in your backyard," and then you sign off on the thing. It's a work. You really just signed away. I don't know. I
don't talk to solicitors at my door. Usually,
I
I
put
open
up
the door.
a sign. I put up a sign.
I thank you for your time. Not interested.
Because me and Lacer both work from home, so I can't have you guys knocking on my door.
Yeah, I just don't.
Anyways, we don't want to be work. Continue on.
No. Anyways. Yeah, short of him showing up somewhere else, I don't know how they could dispel any notion that this could possibly be a work.
Yeah. On the other hand, in terms of it'll blow up in their face. I watched Raw last night. I don't know that the fans are really going to be doing the CM Punk thing. CM Punk set such a high bar for longevity in fans wanting to see him back.
Yeah.
It's really hard. That's a really, really and on top of that, everybody hated WWE Creative at the time. So it was kind of also a way to say, this sucks. You let this guy go, and he was the only thing we liked. So, yeah, I don't know. Will it blow up in their face? Given enough time, and when I say enough time, I mean I don't know, a month or two. If it just becomes clear that everybody's moved on, I don't know if anybody's going to really cheer or anybody's going to chant, "We want Cross." I don't know how long that's going to last.
There wasn't any on Raw last night, right?
I didn't notice any, but also I was
either.
incredibly tired, so I don't know.
I didn't notice either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily blow up in their face. It was a situation where Cross ends up signing somewhere else. This is all legit from the get-go. I think it's going to be viewed. Cross is going to be viewed as, oh, well, there's another really talented person WWE let get away, and we'll probably go on and do really good things somewhere else.
Now let's go on.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a situation where it blows up in their face, but if this is all a work, I don't know how it's going to blow up in their face unless they bring it back in a way that's really underwhelming.
What if we talk past Cross? What if we talk, or post Cross, I should say? This is a work. He comes back. Oh, we all got worked. We thought he was gone. They did everything they could. They released a statement. Kevin, I forget his last name. Kevin something or other.
Yeah.
Carrying Cross has been, his contract. He let it expire. Yeah. He's gone.
Well, they probably said WB and Carrying Cross has failed to come to terms on a new contract. Blah blah blah.
He comes back. Oh, we got work. They even did a statement with his name. Then there's another really popular wrestler, but not really utilized to the best. And they're like, oh, this dude's contract's this gal's contract about to expire. Oh, this must be a work. And everybody thinks the person's going to come back. They show up in AEW. I could see that maybe being the definition of blowing up in your face if it's a big enough deal.
If it's a situation where WWE has created such confusion about the nature of people's contract being or not being renewed or being released, and the expectation is built to such that, oh, it's a good chance this is a work, he's going to come back. Cross is going to come back. Or whoever else afterwards. And it doesn't happen. Yeah, I can see that. It's a situation where you can dabble in the work shoot type thing a little too much. And then people suddenly have this expectation, well, it's got to be this.
Does it put it might put a spotlight on expiring contracts. And then those people could go do whatever they want. If it's not a work, if it's a shoot, if it's a real deal. They can go do whatever they want. And it puts a spotlight on them. Oh, they're going to be back in the WWE. And then Io Shirai ends up in AEW, and it's like, oh no, she went over there. They must suck. I don't know, something along those lines. It puts a bigger spotlight on something that you might not want an actual spotlight on.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. We solved it. We figured it out. Anyways, we got a couple sponsors for the show this week, Larson. So let's talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Delete Me, Steve.
Yes.
We're living in an era, in a world where data is a commodity. Anyone on the internet can buy your private details from data brokers. I'm talking about your name, your contact info, your social security number, even information about your family members.
That's a bummer, man. But with Delete Me, you can protect your privacy. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable.
Tell me about it. I found out about that the hard way. For me, privacy is a massive deal. And few things make me as angry as getting one of those letters in the mail saying that my personal data has been breached again. In fact, I can think of a few times when someone tried to use my identity to buy something. It's incredibly frustrating. But using Delete Me to remove my private data from data broker sites helps protect me from having something like that happen in the future. And you can take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me.
Now at a special discount for our listeners today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting RAW to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text RAW to 64000. That's RAW to 64000. Message and data rates may apply.
And this episode is sponsored by Cash App. Steve, I know you're an accomplished artist. You've had several comic books published.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And I know you've customized a variety of things with your incredible artwork.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
But how about this?
Okay.
Now that Cash App Card offers a personalization feature, what would you put on your very own custom-designed Cash App Card?
Astronaut Steve.
That's a great idea. So, if you weren't all up to speed, Cash App is way more than just a safe way to send and receive money. With the Cash App Card, you unlock a ton of perks without all the fees. Enjoy benefits like exclusive early access to nationwide concert pre-sales, Kendrick Lamar, Sabrina Carpenter, name a couple recent examples, plus discounts on everyday purchases and popular brands you're probably already spending money on.
Cash App also adds security to your money by declining suspicious card transactions and sending you a notification to make sure the payment is really you. If your card is ever lost or stolen, you can lock it with just one tap right in the app.
So spend with confidence with the Cash App Card today. For limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code GOINGRAW in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, direct deposit roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit Cash App/legal/podcast for full disclosures. All right, man. Next up, we got Steven the Dude, not to be confused with Steven here the Dude. That's me, Astronaut Steve.
Or Devin the Dude.
Or Devin the Dude, popular rapper, says Triple H has shown that WWE hasn't changed as much as we thought. Time to go back to companies that actually like wrestling. Like WCW? ECW
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
WWE hasn't changed as much. I think it has changed as much as we thought, but in different ways than we were hoping it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's kind of key. If you go back, man, I maintain the biggest creative difference, and I think it's such a marked one, and it's a marked improvement, so credit where it's due, is the realization of the characters by the performers, the creative allowing performers behind the characters to understand who these characters are. And I think that's why we've seen so many more characters get so much more over now and get these big reactions, unlike what Vince McMahon used to do. In terms of the business aspect of things, things have changed, and not necessarily for the better, but they have changed.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes it feels like WWE is emphasizing the business side so much more than the creative side. And that's a change. Well, obviously that was a situation that was kind of, there were certain business deals that they had made during Vince's, time running the company, and the emphasis on bringing in corporate sponsors, working them into the show. It's pedal to the metal in that regard.
Yeah,
basically on a pay-per-view, especially the major pay-per-views, every single match has a sponsor now.
So there were things that Vince seemingly felt were, whatever you want to say, sacred. No advertisements on the mats. I know there's others, but that was sort of the big one.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he allowed Slim Jim logos to be on tables. That is out the window with TKO. And that isn't a Triple H thing. That's a TKO. Let's make, and Triple H probably totally fine with it. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh man, the more money we make, the better I'm doing. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, he's the chief creative guy, not the guy getting sponsorships and stuff. They probably say, hey, how can we integrate Slim Jim into a constant on-screen presence? There's some space on a table. You want to do that? I don't think Triple H cares about that. I would even kind of counter what you're saying with something a little bit different. I don't necessarily think they're emphasizing. Let me think before I say this. I don't think they're emphasizing the business over the creative. I think creative can be stagnant in WWE, and I don't think it has anything to do with with them trying to grab money at any place they can. I think, as I have said a million times before, booking creative week to week over the course of 2 main roster shows ain't easy, and including Triple H himself, they're gonna come across times when they just don't have it. You can't bring gold all the time. And I don't think that has much to do with the business aspect of things, but maybe you've got to counter that.
No, not necessarily. It's got something else I want to talk about when it comes to this. The idea here that time to go back to companies that actually like wrestling. WWE this is something directed towards WWE creative in terms of the function of matches specifically, but not exclusively on premium live events. And this is something that's, ever since Unreal, it's really popped in my head, and it's something I've been really paying attention to, maybe because I'm paying attention to it. I notice it more. With maybe the exception of pay-per-view main events and a match here or there, it seems like when a match is booked for a premium live event, it serves one of 2 functions. Either it's a good match, or there's one story beat they really want to hammer home.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely on the undercard of premium live events. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but of late, it just seems to happen. This dichotomy seems to happen a lot more often. Like Cody and Cena at WrestleMania. That match was, 20 minutes long? All to serve one story beat.
Yeah.
And very little else. Same with at SummerSlam, Tiffany versus Jade.
Mm-hmm.
That match served one story beat, not much else.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing this, but again, I'm probably just more aware of it. Because Triple H said in Unreal, that match did what it needed to do. All right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get it right and actually give us an entertaining and intriguing match while giving us the stories beats that are necessary to advance the stories they want to tell. But I don't know, seemingly the perspective of, all right, we're going to put on a 20-minute match that's kind of meh, just to hammer home one story beat, as opposed to, why can't we do an entertaining 18-minute match that can deliver the same story beat?
Yeah.
It's like the simplifying of storytelling in the ring in WWE's product of late. And I just don't understand why. Like, what is he afraid that a really good match or in the midst of a really good match, that one story beat's going to be lost? Like, I'm just trying to understand.
I wonder if they're even cognizant of it. You know, I mean, I doubt he said to Cena and Cody, hey, go out there and have a stinker as long as we have the story beat. It might have just been like, well, we got the story beat out of it. I was hoping for a good match, but you can't have everything, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that was his way of saying, hey, if that was his diplomatic way of saying, well, you did what you needed to do. And like a good match would have been good. I don't know if I don't know if he's cognizant of that. I mean, dude, you could look at the Solo Sikoa Jacob Fatu match. You didn't get either.
No, you didn't get it.
You didn't get either of those things.
No.
So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I wonder if some fans thought that it was going to be wall to wall takeover style stuff. And I don't think, given what Triple H has said in the past, I don't even think that was really expected for me, because he's always been cognizant of the whole NXT is whatever he referred to as NXT, but like is like metal or whatever.
Yeah, it was like your underground band, and then
right, or art house cinema. And then main roster is top 40. He would always, that's the thing I remember, his main roster was top 40. And so I think he probably tries to mix it up. If you look at SummerSlam, you know, you have CM Punk versus Gunther. That's a match right there. That's a really good match. Cody versus Cena was a really good match. Naomi, Rhea, Io, really good match. But then it's balanced out with lighter affairs. Like, you know, whatever, Dom versus AJ Styles, which I thought was a fine match. But, you know, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, really good match. There was really good matches on there. And I think that if Vince had continued on somehow, some way, this SummerSlam would have sucked, because Vince, in his later years, the last real year we got of WWE, untouched by COVID or the allegations, was 2019. Like the worst year for WWE. It was awful.
Pretty lousy.
So, I mean, after that, it was either touched by COVID or the next year, I think, or 2021, the allegations. And then it became like a weird, okay, well, who's really running the show here? It's Triple H, but it's also a little bit of Vince back. So, you know, 2019 was just, dude, we've gone over some of that stuff.
It's bad.
It's atrocious. It is simply atrocious. With like little flares of like, oh, that's a cool, like the Fiend showed up in 2019. Oh, that's a cool idea. And then they just don't do anything cool with it.
No.
Or you get the Hell in a Cell match, which is like widely panned except for a couple of idiot podcasters. So yeah, I don't know. What's the hot take? WWE hasn't changed as much as we thought. I'd go back to 2019 and reassess this hot take. It's changed, just not in ways I think that we would have anticipated. But I think creatively speaking, I still think, even though there's, you know, sometimes it can be a bit stagnant, it's way better than it was under Vince in his last years.
The television product is more consistent. Yeah, it is.
Like the 3-hour SmackDowns could be a bit of a chore, but even those, it was like, okay, well, there's relatively logical. Dude, you and I.
It was the monotony of competency on SmackDown. It was all like kind of relatively well put together, but nothing really went beyond just like competent.
You and I would sit there back in 2018, 2019 and just be like, this is horrible.
Yeah. And
I fucking hated it, because it's like you want competency at the very least to be able to criticize it, to be able, and I say that not to insult it, but to critique it, I should say, to provide an honest critique. And you're given stuff to work with that you can sort of figure out, okay, well, this is a story beat that they elected to go with, but does this make sense within the grander... Then none of that shit made sense back in the Vince days. None of it did.
It was all based on his whims, yeah.
It was nuts. So we can't forget that, okay?
Yeah.
History, we cannot forget history, man.
Ian Jackson, not a fan of Triple H's booking here either. Triple H's weekly shows become equal to or even worse than Vince McMahon's booking-wise. Rematches, multiple DQ and distraction finishes every show. Barely any new stars have been built up, and their seemingly refusal to push wrestlers who the fans want to see. Plus, other than main stories, all side stories get almost no progression and just stay in limbo forever. Examples listed here are Theory and Waller, Bloodline 2.0, Judgment Day, etc.
I disagree so whole. If you go back and look at where was Jey Uso under Vince McMahon? I mean, he was part of the Bloodline stuff. That was really good. So he was putting in some great performances. But yeah, I disagree with this. I think we cannot forget that under Vince McMahon, half these characters had no idea who they were. The performers did not know what to do with these characters because Vince would be weird about it. You know, oh, this guy he's quirky, he's funny. And Dean Ambrose is like, fuck this, I'm going to AEW where I could be who I want to be. Just one note guy.
Yeah.
I want to hit one note, Vince. That's all I want to do.
Mean, tough dude who likes to fight.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, you remember that period of time that we had for like a month where every match had to be 2 out of 3 falls?
Yeah.
Because he didn't want wrestling during commercials? The fuck was that? Let's go back to that, please. Yes. Let's go back to that. Why not?
You know, I wonder if there's... So obviously, kind of the honeymoon phase with Triple H is over. You know, I think a lot of people were excited about the prospect of him taking over creative. And at the time when he was, you know, running things initially, there was a lot of good stuff. We had the Bloodline stuff, early Judgment Day stuff especially. Well, not early, but after they kicked Edge out. Some really good stuff.
Peak Judgment Day stuff, yeah.
Peak Judgment Day. There was really good stuff there. There was a lot of interesting character dynamics, the tensions that arose from those dynamics, and it felt like it was explored at a level that was satisfying for us as a viewer. And I'm not going to say we don't get that anymore. We don't get it to the same levels as we did then. And I wonder if there's a situation where expectations were raised so high because of, by and large, the brilliance of the Bloodline stuff. And now that we don't get anything anywhere near that level, now people are like, Triple H, his booking stinks.
Yeah.
When again, it's largely logical and competent. Is it often exciting? Maybe not. But it's also not bad very often either.
You know, dude, but you also have to ask yourself, like, who's saying this stuff? And I'm not discounting, you know, the fans who are the most engaged ones online and whatnot, but there's plenty of truth to listen to the crowds. Look at how loud do they pop for Jey Uso? How loud do they pop for LA Knight? How loud do they pop for Cody? For, you know, for CM Punk, for Rhea Ripley, for Io Sky. Like these crowds are into this shit. And hell, I was into Raw. I was coming off of a 6-hour car ride. The older you get, the longer it feels. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this stuff. I like the Seth CM Punk stuff. I think it's pretty solid. You know, you have the tag division on SmackDown, which can't put on a bad match. I didn't watch SmackDown this past week, but I saw Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes looking in a very intimate position on one of the stills where Drew was down there, like they were laying down. I don't know what was going on there. I
think Drew attacked him. That's what happened.
That seemingly is the case, yeah. So I don't know. You got Jelly Roll. You're not making new stars? You saying Jelly Roll? Come on, now get out of here with that trash. I think that you're absolutely right in that we were so spoiled by the Bloodline stuff, but I also don't think it's realistic to expect that all the time.
No, I don't think it's realistic to expect that all the time, but
I'm not saying it's as good as it could be or as good as it should be, because that John Cena heel run, hey, it was all right, but like I said,
it left a lot to be desired in some respects. Yes,
it did. It had a great start, and then it sort of puttered through the rest of it.
I mean, I think what really kind of carried the Bloodline thing through, other than awesome performances and interesting kind of like multi-dimensional writing, was that it seemed like, and I'm sure that wasn't the case, but it was serendipitous to a degree. There was a vision. There was an end point. They kind of knew where it was going. And the Cena's heel run didn't feel that way. It felt like, all right, Cena, we need you to be this variety of heel to fit in what we want to do here. There wasn't didn't really feel like there was a through line through Cena's heel run, for example.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Bloodline stuff is that it was like week to week. It was like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's definitely lacking that. Okay, It's definitely lacking that. But let's not go so far as to say it's equal to or worse than Vince McMahon. We cannot go there because that was like maybe smelling competence. You know, at
Very
certain
rarely
moments,
certain
moments, it was approaching some level of competence.
Not very often, though. Lord Blake Whitehouse here with a hot take says WWE not having a draft is going to make the product stale. With the exception of NXT call-ups and a couple of trades, we basically had the same roster for 3 years, with next year being the 4th year. The last draft didn't see a whole lot of people changing brands, did it?
Wait, what's that?
So the last draft.
Yeah, everybody complained about that.
Yeah,
everybody complained about that.
Brands.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, dude, I think that here's the thing. Cody's got Logan in Paris. He's going to have Drew.
No, Cody's got Drew in Paris. Cena's got Logan.
Cena's got Logan in Paris. Cody's got Drew in Paris. When did Logan come to... Logan was on Raw, wasn't he?
He was for a while.
He was for a while. Then when did he come to SmackDown? Was it just because he wanted to?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Seth's vision thing is still relatively in its early. I mean, it is in its early phases. So you're gonna have the development of Braun and Braun. The Punk Seth stuff is sort of reaching its peak right now. Drew and Cody is fresh. That's fresh. You know, you can still go to Randy and Cody again if you want to turn Randy heel. I think there are probably enough matchups, and if they need to trade stuff, you could trade stuff. Dom's got plenty of people for his Intercontinental Championship. You still have AJ Styles who could be elevated to a main event scene against Seth Rollins potentially in AJ's last year, if this is his last year. I think there are probably enough pieces. There are tons of matchups in the women's division all over the place that are still fresh. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I feel like the women could definitely use a couple more bad guys because there's not a lot of them. I think that's why they're going to put Bayley heel and maybe Asuka. They're going to make Asuka a bad guy because if Naomi ends up being out for a spell, which the percolation right now is that. I watched somebody posted Becky Lynch's vacating the Raw title to Asuka. That is, dude, that had me. I got goosebumps on that one, and it was a Performance Center segment.
Yeah,
that was so that was so genuine. That was so. You love to see that shit because Asuka was just because Asuka didn't know, and to see that reaction was just absolutely tear jerking. Anyways, yeah, I don't think they need a draft for NXT to come up finally. That's the only thing they really need to do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you want to keep the product from getting stale, I think more so than a draft, which I know it creates fresh matchups, but since the brand split isn't exactly, really a thing, people can hop brands, whenever they feel like it. Sammy was just on SmackDown.
They can just write it that way. It's all fiction.
And that's the thing. I think if you want to keep the product from getting stale, then give us more interesting writing. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
As opposed to talent getting drafted to this brand or that brand.
Yeah.
I know the draft with people change the brands creates a measure of excitement in the short term and potentially some fresh matchups, but there's other avenues by which they could accomplish that as opposed to a draft. But if the writing's good, that keeps the product fresh in my mind, as opposed to, Drew's on SmackDown now instead of Raw.
Yeah. But the number one pick, WWE Raw selects Jelly Roll.
You'd love to see that, wouldn't you?
Oh, dude. Are you kidding me? Monday nights, they'd be must-see.
All right.
Jules E. Abril has a hot take, Larson. It says, what is this? With the attempted homogenization of the audience by openly image laundering for the party in office. I genuinely worry that the industry... Did you just put this on here? Expect me to read this? I genuinely worry that the industry is due for another mass exodus, like when Austin and Vince shook hands. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. All right. So he's saying that the Trump stuff is going to cause people to tune out. Okay,
yeah,
listen, Jules. Here's the deal. I just did it for you this time. All right. It's like my old trigonometry teacher. I'm like, hey, how do you do this? He's like, I'll do this for you one time. And he actually did it, and I got credit for it. It was Mr. Butner. Remember him?
Never had him.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
Anyways. So he's saying that the image of Donald Trump and Triple H is going to send people scurrying away. He says TKO might do well to remember that MMA and WWE audiences are wildly different. The level of glazing that MMA fans are willing to tolerate will not fly with wrestling fans. Well, number one, I don't think MMA fans tolerate that shit. I think they eat it up. But I think you're absolutely right in that WWE fans are not MMA fans. I mean, I'm sure there's, what do they say? There's like a, the
13% crossover.
Yeah,
or
there's like a little bit of crossover there. Let me put it this way. I don't think that is going to be, so like Austin and Vince was like, oh, this is happening between these characters on my television and it's bad writing. And I have no desire to see Steve Austin in this role, so I'm not going to watch the show anymore. That to me is like a much more realistic reason for people to tune out than here's 5 seconds of Triple H with Donald Trump. And it has nothing to do. I think people tune in or tune out based on the characters and the stories. Not to say that people won't get disenfranchised with your shit. And if you do that a lot and try to hammer them over the head with it in some way, shape, or form, I think that then you could, that could happen. But I think unless there's something major in your actual stories that you're telling with your characters, there's not going to be a mass exodus.
Yeah. I think I agree with that.
As much as I'd like them to learn a lesson, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. You know, if they make further attempts to kind of, how to put this?
Ingratiate themselves?
Yeah, with the current administration and feature it more often on TV.
More overtly as part of their stories and characters?
Yes. Then look, I was disgusted to see Triple H up there with Donald Trump at that presidential fitness thing. You know, and if I didn't do this for a living, would that give me pause? I don't know. Maybe. It's a chance. We did a whole bonus episode about kind of how the thought process that we undergo to kind of still, do this for a living and cover the product. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have we seen any comments in any of our videos directly related to that press conference in terms of people saying, that's it, I'm done? I don't recall.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen, honestly, dude, hey, whenever anybody, it always cracks me up when people, they try to use every reason under the sun, except for the most obvious, in terms of how people en masse vote for who they vote for. Goes back to 1992, James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. So many more people said they're tuning out because of the ESPN $30 a month potential than anything else that's happened. So let me backtrack. I feel like number one on the power ranking list is how much people have to pay. If they think that they're getting gutted, then they're going to tune the fuck out.
Yeah.
Easily. You got to make it worth their while.
Yep.
Because when you're offering 5 matches for $30, which some people, that's how some people are taking it.
Yep.
And if they ain't got any of the methods to watch it free gratis, then that's what it's going to cost.
That's the reality. Yeah.
Then that's the reality. Then it's characters and stories. And then it's like 5 seconds of Trump. I don't know if any, I just don't think that very many people are so, look, I don't like the guy either. Honestly, it just sort of makes me chuckle because I'm like, okay, man. You know, it's like, I just think of the absurdity of like, you're so thirsty for validation that you're gonna do that, you know. Oh, look at me now. But anyways, yeah, I think that the money thing is number one, and then bringing Brock back on ethical grounds. I think that was one for a lot of people in our comments as well. I mean, there's plenty of people who are like, "Oh, you guys are snowflakes," and then I banned their comments. But yeah, the Trump thing, I think people just sort of clowned on it, but I didn't see a lot of people or anybody that was like, I'm not watching it again because he stood next to Trump, you know? So, I don't know. Anyways.
Subaldu says WWE's in-ring style is consistently unengaging. That's not to say they can't have good matches at all or that talent can't work. They absolutely can. WWE has a killer roster of amazing wrestlers. But there is an underlying level of formula and predictability that makes their matches feel less worth a watch. A good match can obviously use tropes and phrases in the pro wrestling language, become better, like a hot tag, but WWE's TV product is often just comment spot after comment spot laid out in a common way that lots of time can't even do the audience a service of ending clean. What Subaldu here is describing is the WWE style.
Yeah, which I think is definitely a thing. It's obviously a thing. I mean, sometimes
it's obviously something that's evolved through the years, but yes.
Like we've looked at AEW matches and you know, sometimes we're like, this felt like a WWE match, you know, in an insulting way. Yeah. That being said, when you look at, for example, the triple threat at Mania, you know, the Io, Naomi, you know, that to me is not like, oh, this is a WWE thing. I'm like, no, this is perfectly at home in the best matches of the year. CM Punk versus Gunther. I love that match. It's Cody versus Cena. I love that match, you know, and it's like, that's like a big match feel to it. So now their run of the mill matches, their TV matches that don't last a commercial break. Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel that. There is more often than not, you'll get that thing that feels like, okay, well, this is, I guess, servicing just continuing on a feud. I know where this is going. It's going to have a wonk finish. It's going to continue a feud, or it's going to elevate a feud or whatever. But I don't think WWE does that as much as maybe people like to think they do. Like, I don't know if you could look at any SmackDown tag team match and be like, oh, look at this formulaic bullshit. It's like it might end the same way with all the tag teams out there. But the actual in-ring meat of it, the meat of it was like, hey, this is all really good shit.
Yeah, I think this particular take is probably more an issue on weekly television as opposed to pay-per-view. Not exclusively, because there's been pay-per-view matches of late that were like, all right, this in terms of the wrestling involved in this could have been on SmackDown or Raw. You know, the idea is at a premium live event, everything should be elevated. The drama, quality, the in-ring work, advancing of the stories. Yeah. That's what pay-per-view or premium live event matches should do, at least in my estimation. TV matches are advertisements for those premium live event matches. Yep. That's what they are. They give you a taste. They give you a little bit of what you might be getting at the premium live event. That's why you have a 20-minute match that's awesome with a wonk finish, because they want the finish to happen at a show you pay for, out of pocket. You know, whether it's $10, $30, $50, regardless of company. Or to do something during the course of that match to set up the match you will plunk down money for. That's how I kind of view the TV matches. And yes, far too often there'll be sections where it's like, all right, come on, let's get the match going here. Understand you got 18 minutes to fill, and the producer says for this 2.5 minutes, you got to exchange arm bars. I get it.
Right, yeah.
But is it advancing the story you're trying to tell? If not, then don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my attitude. But, you know, and that's kind of the thing with WWE matches. You get those segments, and maybe in the right context, there's a place for that kind of stuff. And but if it's there just because it's there, you should be motivated by whatever the feud is or the story you're telling.
Yeah.
Like why is someone working an arm if their finisher doesn't involve utilizing a weakened arm, or if the person they're wrestling doesn't use their arm in their finisher. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Steven Orlowski here with the hot take says, the Bloodline story not having an end is a crime.
Not having an end?
I mean, did WrestleMania 40 not happen?
What the hell was WrestleMania 40?
Yeah, that was the end.
This is 41. 40. What happened to WrestleMania? That was the end.
Once Roman lost the belt, Bloodline story. I mean, obviously
what we got after was the denouement.
Yes. It was the after effects, the aftershocks of that momentous end to the Bloodline story. Once Roman lost that title, the Bloodline story was it.
Yeah, that was done.
That was done.
Yeah.
That was done.
Now, you couldn't expect those characters to completely, like what's the expectation here? Like, the story never ends, Larson. So it's like, Solo Sikoa then trying to do the power grab. It was natural for him to try to start his own bloodline. Mm-hmm. But that story came to an end. The trial of Sami Zayn, all that stuff, that came to an end at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And it's it. That was done. And then they had to take the characters to where they naturally would end up going. And that was the other stuff.
Juan Guerrero says, hi, Friendos. Mr. Triple Mania here. Hope you guys are doing great.
Mr. Triple Mania.
Says, my hot take, maybe not that hot. Dirty Dom should absolutely win the AAA Mega Championship at Triple Mania. Mr. Triple Mania here also adds, if he's still champion by the time Liv comes back, Liv should win the Reina de Reinas Championship so they can rule the lucha world together.
He is the king of the luchadors. Who am I to disagree with Mr. Triple Mania right here? Here's the added bonus. Maybe Dom winning might drag Vikingo over to WWE main roster, which I watch, and therefore I'd get to see a weekly dose of El Vikingo.
What would be great
El Hijo del Vikingo
is Dom wins at Triple Mania.
Yeah.
They do a rematch at Survivor Series.
Ooh.
And have Vikingo beat him there for it.
I just want Psycho Clown on main roster.
Yeah.
I want to peel his face off.
Oh, I was not expecting that when he did that on SmackDown a couple weeks back.
That was sick.
That's pretty wild. All right, non-wrestling time. Drew Lytle here says the best breakfast item are fresh waffles from a waffle iron. 1,000% agree with this. If you get a waffle that's just right off the waffle iron on your plate and it gets to you in 30 seconds or less, that is hard to top.
Man.
It's crisp on the outside, soft, fluffy on the inside.
Bro, I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles this weekend in L.A., the one on La Brea. Oh, my God. Oh, dude. I'm sad that I've lost some weight because my stomach has done shrunk up a little bit.
Oh, you couldn't put away like you used to, huh?
I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I went straight into the waffle, and then I was starting to dig into the mac and cheese. It was like, before I even hit the chicken, I was like, oh, my God, I'm getting stuffed right now. But then I powered through most of the chicken.
Oh.
And then I went back to the waffle, and then I had a little bit more mac and cheese, but I still had a bunch on my plate. I can't take it back. I can't take it to the hotel.
Did you not have a fridge at the hotel?
We had a fridge, but no microwave.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. What the hell?
I'd eat that waffle cold.
Oh, man. It was so good. It was so good. Hey, that's my thing, is that it's not just the best breakfast item. It's the best lunch item, the best dinner item, the best late night snack item.
Mm-hmm.
Man, waffles are so good.
So when I make a batch of my pancakes, I just don't make enough just to have for that particular meal.
Yeah.
I make enough to last me a whole week.
Holy shit.
If I want to. So I'll have pancakes or waffles.
Unlimited pancakes, Larson.
Well, I'm feeling a little peckish like at 8 o'clock. I'll take a couple of those waffles and I'll put them in the air fryer to crisp them up.
There you go. Bobby Baba here with a hot take. I was going to say super chat. Says, okay, computer is okay at best. Well, I bet this guy really likes the Eagles, Larson.
I mean, you could like the Eagles and still say, okay, Computer is a great album because it is.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of Eagles on the road yesterday, and I didn't listen to OK Computer, so maybe this guy's got a point.
All right.
OK Computer to me is a personal top 5. It might be on my Mount Rushmore. It's there with the Sgt. Pepper. It's there with, I don't know, Super Unknown, probably. And then there's probably something else I really like. Oh, The Chronic. I think that's my Mount Rushmore right there. But OK Computer's on there. It's a revolutionary album. It really is. It's just, goddamn it. It's so good.
It is. It's really good. Yeah, we're long time, noted, huge Radiohead fans. So in no way are we ever going to agree with anything saying OK Computer is just all right.
I have had several Radiohead shirts that I could not wear because they all fit weird. But I continue to buy them. Yeah, that was the
thing with their shirts. They always fit weird.
I don't know who these things are made for. No idea. But they all
if they fit well up top. Like I had one that I wore for a while that was always kind of short. That if I put my arms up, I was worried my belly's going to show, you know?
Right? Yeah, it was weird.
Otherwise, it fit fine.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. They're made for Europeans, I guess.
Last hot take here from Ronan the Analyst says, I don't mind stealing bread. From the mouths of decadence is the best line in a grunge song.
I don't mind stealing bread. From the mouths of decadence. Of course, Temple of the Dog, Hunger Strike. Great lyric. So I'm going to ask you here in a second what your favorite lyric is, but I know what my favorite grunge lyric is.
Sure.
I'll give you a couple seconds. I wonder if you can guess what my favorite grunge lyric is.
Is it the pre-chorus to Pearl Jam's Glorified G?
No, it's
glorified
this.
Version of a pellet gun feels so manly when armed.
Of a pellet gun. I hate that song. I know someday you'll have a beautiful life.
Oh, yeah.
I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky. But why? Why can't it be mine? Oh my God, you're killing me, Eddie. You're kidding. I just actually went back and I read these lyrics, and because I've never really absorbed them. I knew it was all about having somebody dump you or being broken up with something. But it starts off with sheets of empty canvas, untouched sheets of clay. This guy's got no inspiration because his muse is gone, and he recognizes that she will be a muse again, but not to him. He fucked up. Oh, it's a beautiful line. It's an absolutely beautiful line. Yeah, man. So that is my personal favorite grunge line of all time.
You know, I can't say definitively this is my favorite, but a song that the lyrics I really appreciate is another Chris Cornell pen song.
Oh yeah,
and that's Soundgarden's 4th of July. There's a lot of good lines in that song.
Gosh darn it. Let's get some of these, man.
All right. But now I'm in control. Now I'm in the fallout. Once asleep, but now I stand, and I still remember your sweet everything. Light a Roman candle and hold it in your hand.
Oh, I love that one. Light a Roman candle and hold it in your hand. Oh my gosh.
Such a great song.
Oh, it's a brilliant song. Yeah. Gosh darn it. I'm going to listen to grunge now.
There you go. Alice in Chains Wood, Into the Flood Again.
I was looking at the lyrics for Them Bones.
Yeah. And, I believe them bones are me.
Let's just end on this line here, because it's true of everybody. I feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them bones. Because then you always die alone, unless you're in a big plane crash. And then, then
you're around people. Doesn't mean you're not alone.
But you're not alone. Right, exactly. You are alone. You're just a big old pile of bones. Unless you're the plane crash or the Ocean Gate thing. You ain't a pile of bones there. You're just red liquid dust.
Yeah.
What a horrible way to end the show.
All right, what's the funniest grunge lyric in your mind, Steve?
Oh, wow.
Other than Glorified G.
Oh man!
It's Dirty Frank's the song about the bus driver.
It's Dirty Frank. It's Dirty Frank. How about this? How about this one? How about this one? This is great. Drive down the street. Can't find the keys to my own fucking home. I'll take a walk so I could curse my ass for being dumb. I'll make a right after the arches, stinking grease and bone. Stopped at the supermarket. People stare like I'm a dog. I'm going to Lucan's. I got a spot at Lucan's. I knocked the door at Lucan's. Open the fridge. Now I know life is worth. What does that even mean?
I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean
Oh,
anything.
man. Lucan's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Songwriter Eddie Jerome Vedder.
What the heck?
What?
Is that
What you
really
got?
the lines?
From Lucan?
No, from Dirty Frank.
Oh, God. Is it horrible?
Oh, it was different from one place. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It was just like nonsensical stuff.
Dirty Frank Dahmer, he's a gourmet cook. Yeah, got a recipe for Anglo-Saxon soup. What?
I remember that being.
Yeah,
I thought it
no,
was about
Dirty
a bus
Frank is
driver.
about Dirty Frank is about a cannibal, right?
Oh, is it? I thought it was about their bus driver.
He says bus driving's harder on your head than on your feet, but I think maybe he was a bus driving cannibal. Yeah, he used to kill
okay.
people. That's why in the end it's look out, it's Dirty Frank.
That makes more sense then.
Which you could say about a bus driver as well.
I mean, I figured that maybe the bus was just, driving down the street and someone was paying attention. Hey, look out, bus is coming.
Yeah, no, it's cook them just to see the look on their face. That's horrible.
Right. That is.
I mean, it's funny, but it's really messed up.
It's not a good song, though.
Yeah, no, it's because the best line it is, "Where's Mike McCready? My God, he's been 8." That's how we're gonna end the show
right.
today. We'll
Forgot
see
about
you
that.
guys around. My God, he's been 8.
I tried to wipe that song from my memory because I couldn't stand it.
Oh, it's a great song. It's about a cannibal.
Bus driver who eats Mike McCready.